Yeah. Oh my God, that's a Ghost Academy. What are we seeing?
Oh. Yeah, it is.
This is.
I'm actually glad you said that.
This is
because
wild.
I would not have even been looking for that right now.
He's got a second one queued already. No cloak in production. Doesn't look like he's banking the resources for it. So yeah, he's just planning on using these ghosts, and there's an armory going up as well. It's gonna be Hellbat Ghost.
Well, I guess that would make a lot of sense now, because you know then all the queens die, and then the Hellbats just sort of win the fight.
I've never.
So I remember like really like beta of the game early. People mess with ghosts like off 1 or 2 bases.
He just sniped. He just sniped the queen. One queen's dead already, and I mean, soO's probably like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, this is the worst feeling ever when someone's doing this to you in a match. You're like, I don't understand what's happening, and I'm scared, and I'm gonna learn what's happening as it beats me in the game. But, I mean, can Ling or Roach not just overpower this?
Yeah, the Roach Warren is going down now. That's my question as well, as if that's going to be able to stop it, as the Ghost is antsy to get another snipe off. There it is, and look, taps it with the Hellions, and the Ghost Knight finishes it off. That's another queen that's going down right now.
Dude, this is kind of crazy.
Like the Ghosts, they do bonus damage against light units, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to melt these Lings as well as the Hellions. There's a Reaper as well, and I mean, that's 3 queens already dead.
And it does take the queens a while to make here. So he snipes another one.
Goodness.
The Lings are going to come down. The Lings are actually doing a decent amount of damage, but they can't keep pursuing these Hellions. So there's 4 queens left. I think there's literally 3 being made right now.
Yeah,
3 more.
He can't stop making queens, because if that number gets too low, he is in a world of trouble right now. And ByuN going to be setting up to go for another snipe, I'm sure, as the 3rd Ghost now is finishing and crossing the map. 5 Roaches are finally out now. I don't know what ByuN does to deal with the Roaches. That's my big question.
What's funny is, you know, the Hellions don't have to stay there for that long for the damage with the Ghost to do its job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nice idea for the counterattack, but he's not going to get in.
This wall makes a lot of sense now as well.
Maybe he doesn't want to go for Hellbats at all. Maybe we kind of just...
Maybe, yeah, maybe. All right, he's sniping Roaches now.
But, you know, the problem with this build is you just don't have Medic Marine. Or Marine Medevac, excuse me. So you don't have that kind of backbone that you need.
I don't know, though. Like, can this push actually kill him? Because, like, the Ghosts are going to get more energy. They're going to eventually be able to snipe more. I'm not... Behind the wall, how are you really going to be able to break it?
2 factories with tanks.
Is this like a Ghost and a Ghost mech?
It's Ghost mech, dude.
I know Artosis is at home right now,
yeah.
and he's wishing he was here.
He just went like this. He went, oh, like that in his chair.
Look at this. He's going to clean this up.
Artosis' toes are curling as he sits on his couch going Ghost mech. Ow.
This is an incredible start to this game. I've never seen any opening like this.
I've never seen this comp before.
This is incredible, and I mean, soO just seems like he doesn't really know what to do. 15 more Roaches in production. Once Roach speed comes up, I think he might have a chance of being able to clean this up, but by then, my question is, like, what is the Roach, or what is the tank count going to be for ByuN? Because maybe the Roaches won't be able to get anything.
I don't think this is going to work. I like this, and I'm excited to see it.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if this is just, like, going to be a moment where we realize why you don't see it, even if it's cool, but this could be a huge shift in the way that people understand the game. Clearly, he's been hanging on to this and waiting for an important moment like this one to use it.
Yeah, final match here in Group B. You know ByuN wants to go to the next round. He has cut Ghost production, so it looks like he will just be sitting on these 2 very battered Ghosts for now, and it's a lot of Hellbats, a lot of tanks, and soO is responding with Swarm Hosts. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, Swarm Hosts. That could be pretty strong, honestly, here.
Yeah, I like that move. What a wild game 1 to start this series.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy one.
Cyclone slowly whittling down these Roaches and forcing soO to go back. We're seeing kind of a battle mech style here from ByuN. But that's a lot of expensive mech units that are going down. The siege tanks are going to siege and finally clean up those Roaches. But now, I mean, I want to say it's going to be double-digit Swarm Hosts for soO very soon.
He's going to have to use them to defend, though. I mean, Terran's already going to be so far down here. I think that the Swarm Hosts are a good idea, but if you bleed out everything else, Terran's just going to come down here to 6 o'clock and wreck you.
we'll see. 3 more Cyclones in production, 4 more Hellions. So he's going almost full battle mech. I guess the siege tanks are just kind of to hold this ground.
Reminds you of the way Gumiho used to play the game.
Yeah, this is something crazy, man. Still one ghost, more snipes coming in. Swarm hosts are moving up to the top side. They should probably be sending down.
No, they're moving down to the bottom here. He's actually going to unleash them on the tanks
you're
down
right.
here. Yeah.
Oh, those tanks are not long for this world. This Swarm host flank is beautiful right now. The Roaches and Ravagers coming in from the side as well, and that's a lot of very expensive mech units going down for ByuN as soO is reaching max. And honestly, a very unusual start to game number 1. But soO looks like he kind of found the answer.
I think soO sort of, was presented with a problem, got to kind of sit on it for a few minutes and be like, Swarm hosts. That's going to be the solution here. And Terran lost a lot of momentum when those Swarm hosts came out, and I think now it's going to be the point in time, especially with the factories out here like this. This is actually even worse versus Swarm hosts, because then they're just going to hit your infrastructure. If this is against a guy who's making like lots of Banelings or going Roach Ravager, having the factories out there helps.
It's the worst feeling in the world when it gets on your production facilities. That in your command centers, I mean, oh no, even the rally here, it just hurts, man.
All right, they're going to come up and try to take a fight, but I just think there's too much.
Yeah, it feels like it was a...
There's no real recourse, I think, for the Terran from the Swarm hosts with the unit comp we have.
Yeah, I'm not sure what path forward he has. I mean, the Hellions, like, kind of getting us around on Swarm hosts, but yeah, they don't really do a lot of damage to those units, buddy. It's kind of funny when you see Swarm hosts getting surrounded by enemy and it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to see ByuN kind of have a slow and painful death here as Zerglings even coming in onto the 4th base. More Swarm hosts coming in here in the main. Siege tanks going down as well, and ByuN. I mean, that was a fantastically interesting opener.
Dude, it was one of the most memorable games, weirdly, I've ever casted, because it was so out there. It almost felt like we were just in the first couple months of the game, when people were really getting experimental.
It's like a fruit dealer moment.
Yeah, it was just so crazy. But again, the problem is, by the way, you can really see what happens to Terran if they're not using medevacs constantly and they're causing threats around the map, as the Zerg can sort of, sidestep a lot of this. GG.
There's gonna be 3 barracks.
Yep.
It's gonna be 3 racks Marine right here in the dead center. You would think maybe he's gonna scout for the position. Nah, 3 racks. Let's do it. I respect this so much, by the way. I love it when players, with their tournament lives on the line, go for plays like this one.
Oh, me too. Is he gonna make this bunker? What are we doing?
I think he's waiting.
Okay.
All right.
So there's 4 lings making, 2 queens being produced, and really no way to stop this bunker. The spine comes down as well.
Yeah, these bunkers are gonna go up pretty much uncontested, I want to say. More Marines being rallied across the map, and these 2 SCVs just continuing to build these bunkers. Have to note that soO does have close to 100 gas, so he may be getting Zergling speed as part of his plan to try and deal with this.
The second bunker is about to complete. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a way to save the hatchery, but if the Zerg is going to go for it, you're basically going to dive in as the spine is done. Here we go.
All right.
He's going to send everything he's got.
It's a lot of lings, spine crawler burrowing. A lot of damage coming in for these bunkers. The first SCV does get taken down there by the queens, focusing that down, but all the Zerglings are dead. All the drones are being pulled, and these bunkers stand tall. 132 gas in the bank, no use whatsoever.
Just did not target those SCVs like he should have.
It's tough. They're all the way there in the back. It's 2 bunkers. That's going to be it. Yeah.
So Stim on the way now.
Yeah, no engineering base just yet.
No, I mean, soO basically just staying back, macroing up. I mean, you have to know that with the head start, whatever ideas Terran's going to have, they're going to come a little bit more quickly because of that CC first. So,
I mean, this is the Look at this army coming out for ByuN right now. I mean, this is looking pretty formidable, and this is kind of the advantage that you get from going CC first is, yeah, your timings, they might be a little bit slower. You might be a little bit behind where you would normally push, but when you eventually do get all of your pieces together, you're stronger than you could have even imagined, as we have a lot of Marines pushing out. Right at the same time, the +1's going to be finishing and combat shields, 2 tanks, 2 medevacs, clearing the creep and setting up in a very similar position that we saw Bunny set up right here around this ramp to kind of go for that 3rd base.
Yeah, and let's remember, you know, Bunny really did a pretty impressive job of that, and ByuN should have an even better position here now, all things considered. And so he's going to set up on the ramp. He needs to spread these siege tanks out a little bit more.
Interesting to me that he's taking down these rocks.
Yeah.
Well, I would have thought that you would want to protect those to...
Me too. But let's see, you know, what kind of fight he's going to have here, I guess.
Oh, he wants to creep forward on this side. Okay, that makes sense. 2 Liberators in production now, and keep in mind, this is Roach Ravager here for soO, so it's a different army composition than we saw.
It's not just Banes that need to connect. Oh my God, great fight over here with the army bottleneck between the Geyser and the Hatch. Beautiful stutter stepping over here. The Roach is still not really moving right now. They're going to try to come up here and get on this tank.
All right, huge concave coming in here for soO as ByuN's fighting back right now. These Marines are so powerful right now with their +1 ground weapons. Going to take the best trade that he can, sacrifice the tanks, and then get on out of there. And, I mean, the Roach composition, it does kind of power up a lot. If these were Banelings that got focused down by the tanks, this could be a completely different game. This is one of the reasons why we see ByuN going for Liberators and trying to get out of this position is...
And, you know, just a 2-basing Terran, this doesn't really pan out that well. You know, we see a lot of pushes, but the ones on 2-base, they're more required to end the game than the ones on 3. The ones on 3, you kind of ebb and flow your way through that, and there's room for recovery. The thing about going Roach Ravager as well is eventually you end up with this maxed out army, and then you want to try to throw that at the 2-basing Terran here.
Yep, 2 Liberators going off in the main and the natural right now, getting some damage, and this is a pretty good fight there for ByuN as well. Really big siege tank shots come in, a lot of units going down. The main and the natural, they're not mining. 9 Trones are dead, and ByuN is starting to fight back, Tasteless.
Yeah, ByuN is doing a lot of damage. And, you know, Roach Ravager, they don't really have a whole lot of recourse here at moments like this.
Yeah, he would have to send the Ravagers back home to Bile, but he's getting pinned in the front right now because if he moves his Ravagers to back to deal with that, he might just lose the game.
Okay, he does manage to take out those Liberators. It's kind of crazy to see how much you can kite with this Roach Ravager, but is there just too much? Is he just going to overpower him here? He is. He's going to stutter step forward. Just slam the tank with those biles.
Yeah, that was a big fight there by soO. He cleans up all the tanks, but in the meantime, this army for soO is also very immobile now, as you see ByuN trying to stretch him thin going into the main base, and this is preventing soO from going for a counterattack as ByuN takes his 3rd. And also keep in mind, there was a huge economic advantage for soO a moment ago, but the worker counts after that Liberator double attack, they've almost equalized.
Yeah. The big thing, though, is that Terran is just now starting to mine from the 3rd. And that is a lot of times where, you know, in this back and forth, Zerg will just run in there and just attack right down on top of that CC.
The one thing I'm really worried about for soO, though, is that now that ByuN has identified the play style that soO was going for, which is Roach Ravager, he's navigating his army composition accordingly. He's making more Liberators, he's mixing in a lot of Marauders, and they're going to be doing a lot of bonus damage to this army. And if you're soO right now, even if you catch ByuN out of position, which he barely doesn't here, is ByuN's actually taking a really good fight. This is some nice stutter step and trading. I'm not sure soO's going to be able to break this. This drop in the main is deadly as well.
You know what? Honestly, I think he didn't appreciate the fact that as long as there are 2 medevacs with units in it, the threat of a drop is actually very scary. And again, if you don't go for ByuN's, man, you can't really stop the medevacs from roaming around unless you can actually hunt down those, hunt them down with the queens.
Yeah, but look at soO's economy now. He has no recourse except to continue on lean Roach Ravager. He can't afford any tech transition whatsoever. He has to keep doing this because ByuN just is not letting off on the gas pedal. And ByuN is kind of forcing his opponent into an army composition that really doesn't scale well. At the same time, ByuN is building the perfect army to counter it.
Oh, man. you know, it's funny, like soO's done okay, but you know, again, this composition doesn't lend itself to safety, right?
Right.
You're kind of having to just run around and chase down the Terran that can pretty liberally move around the map. And I mean, when you have comps this high, look, you can just target down the hatchery and then peace out.
Back to 3-base versus 3-base. The drops are continuing. Liberator's doing even more damage, and man, this feels like it's going to be an insurmountable lead for ByuN right now. soO really on his last legs as he's going for one big counterattack, but that position looks really tough to break, Tasteless.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit boxy to try to get in there. I mean, the tanks and the Widow Mines, everything's like in a very good spot here.
All
oh
right.
My God. I think that we're about to see the end here.
Yep, soO's got to pull a miracle out of his hat right now to make this fight happen. This is a good engagement for him. He's got a good concave, but the army for ByuN is so powerful. Even SCV is being pulled right now to tank for the Marine Marauder, and the Ravagers now are starting to fall. soO does have a supply lead. He's making this work for now. Oh, it's so close.
It's actually so close here. Just a couple Roaches and Ravagers left over. I don't see any infantry, though.
soO might be able to make this work.
I just don't see anything right now. The CC has to pick up.
ByuN's dropped down to 33 workers. He's at 43 army supply. His army supply is half that of soO's.
He has no tanks.
So
there's nothing to basically set up. So for all the damage that soO absorbed throughout this game, he never really had an answer for this, you know, just monsoon of Zerg units to come down eventually. It was inevitably going to happen.
All right, the SCVs are being pulled again. ByuN trying to survive right now. We said soO might need a miracle, and it looks like he might have gotten it. He's breaking through the natural. ByuN now at 53 supply. GG.
That's it. soO takes it in